Welcome. I'm so glad that you're joining us today, Sun Readers. We're here at the View from the Shard, at the top of the Shard, Yogosphere. You're joining us for a class with my yogis today. So we're going to start in a meditation pose. So let's sit down. So if you're at home and you find in the beginning your knees are quite high up, it's usually because your hips are tighter. So just move the flesh of the bottom back a little and let the elbows rest onto the insides of the knees. Let your eyes close or keep them open and start to tune into the breath. Draw the inhalation through the nose and exhale out of the mouth. Good. As you inhale, really feel like the oxygen is drawing in through both nostrils. And as you exhale, let the shoulder blades melt away from the center and feel like your sitting bones are spreading into the earth. Get the feeling that your spine is as tall as this building, the Shard. It's reaching up high into the sky. And your breath is super calm. Good. Start to reach the hands in front of you, have the eyes open, and start to reach the fingers forward. So often you ask yourself, what's the happy muscles? We think of smiling or the eyes, but your inner shoulders are happy muscles when you hug someone. So feel like you're hugging someone you like. You reach forward, hug, reach forward from that place, bring the fingers to the floor, and then start to roll the body back. And take your arms nice and wide. Good, reach them up. Fingers touching. Bring the hands back to the center. Again, spread the arms out like you're hugging someone. You're reaching forward. And let the fingers come to the floor. Good, and then rolling the spine upright. Reach the hands up into the clouds. And then interlace the fingers and spread your knuckles up to the sky. Good. As you exhale, start to round through the back. Push out through the fingers. Inhale, lengthen the arms up. Good. Reach the armpits up to the sky. Exhale. Time it with the breath. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, rounding. So just gently warming the spine, reaching the hands up. Good. And rounding. Beautiful. Reach the hands up to the side and bring the fingers to the sides of you. Take your left hand across the right knee, right hand for support, and start to twist over towards the right hand side. So you'll find often what happens, the right shoulder wants to move back, but instead let the right shoulder be relaxed and let the right armpit move back in space. Good, let the chest keep rotating over towards the city of London and let your chin look over to the opposite side. Your chin looking beyond your left shoulder. Literally squeezing your spine like a wet dishcloth. Beautiful. Reach the hands over to the other side. Right hand over left. Knee, and then arching the body to the side. Often what happens in this twisted pose, continue guys, is that we move into the back of the sitting bones. So can we slide the hips forward a bit so you're lengthening, getting the curves in the spine, then rotating through the chest. Keep the chest moving over towards the left hand side. Good, and then start to move the chin over to the right. Chin looking over your right shoulder. Really spread and puff the chest up. Good, and bring the body back to the center and then coming into an all-fours position. Start to just move the hips in semicircles, everyone. So as you spread into the fingers, like the U shape, you start to move the hips to the middle. Feel the balance of pressure moving from one hand to the other. Good. Reaching up. Okay, come to the center, tuck the toes under, and glide the bottom back, coming into a bent leg downward facing dog. So first check is make sure your ears are level with the arms. So if you're joining us at home, you can use my voice to guide you. So you might find yourself looking up to watch the screen, but I'm going to guide you as much as I can. So you can let the instructions just help you keep steadying the sitting bones up in space and peel the shoulders away from the center of the body. Really root down through all of the fingers. And inhale, breathe into the stomach area. And as you exhale, send the stomach in towards the hips, lengthening your spine. Good. Roll forward into plank position. As you roll forward into plank, have the hips level with the heart. And then drop the knees, the belly, the chest, the chin. Roll the shoulders back and away from the ears as you come up into cobra. Good. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Spread into your toes. Spread into your thighs. Good. Lengthen the spine. Long spine, everyone. Long, long spine. Reach up, right leg. Right leg stepping forward into lunge. Reaching up with the hands. So your fingers dipping into the clouds here as you spiral the shoulders away from the ears. And start to hold onto your left wrist. So if you're at home or here and you feel this is a little tough on the thighs, you can always drop the back knee, left knee on the floor. Otherwise, start to arch the body over towards the right-hand side. The left thigh curling in, the front knee directly above the hips. And spread your toes into the earth like the roots of a tree. Good, beautiful. Breathing into the lungs. Come back to the center. Reach the left hand forward. Place it on the floor. And then spiral the right hand up to the sun, which we're waiting for today. It should come up. Good. Keep squeezing the inner thighs in towards each other. Keep sending the right bottom back in space. Beautiful. Reaching the breath up. Skull nice and lengthened. Good. And then bring that top hand down. And downward facing dog. Spread the seat back to where the ceiling meets the wall. Any point you get tired, then you can come into child's pose. If you're not sure what child's pose is, watch Mandy here. So you draw the knees apart and you let the bottom rest towards the heels. At any point you can do this. Okay? So you must listen to your body. In yoga, often what happens, people think you have to do what everyone else is doing in class, but it's your body, so you always have to look after it. Good. Now reaching the left leg up. As you spread the left leg up, can you really push out from the sitting bones towards the heels? Good. Squeeze the inner thighs in and gently place that left leg forward. The leg doesn't come forward comfortably. Use your hands to step it forward. Good. Reaching up. What often happens here is people go into a kind of back bend. So you want to drop the tail down and scoop the core into the center. That's it, and reach the fingers. And turn the thumbs back in space and slide the shoulders away from the ears. Good. Now holding onto your right wrist. Keep committing to the ball of the back foot and start to arch the body over towards the left-hand side. Soften the jaw. Really spread into the outer lines of the feet. Good. Reaching the heart up to the sky. Beautiful, everyone. Coming back to the center. Now commit to the back ball of the foot as you reach forward. Right hand to the instep of the foot and left hand rising up. Breathe into the back of the body. Can you suck the back thigh deep into the bones without contracting the bottom? Good. And keep sending the left hip back in space. And find a lightness to the fingers. Beautiful. Bring the top hand down. Downward facing dog. Reach up right leg. Up to the sky. And right leg stepping forward into a lunge position. Ground the back heel. And warrior two. Good. Reach your fingers far into the horizon. What I love about doing yoga here every Saturday morning, it's exclusive for the sun that we're doing it here on a Friday. Usually I'm in bed on Friday morning at this time. But I love looking out to the horizon because you have views 40 miles uninterrupted into all of London here. As the class continues, you see the kind of clouds lift up and just pure sunshine. This building is like an urban mountain. So yoga, they used to always do yoga in the mountains before. And now we do it in our buildings. Back hand on back thighs, reverse the warrior. And as you exhale, bring the right elbow and the thigh past Konasana, reach the left hand up. You can choose any option you like. If you want to step it up a little, you can bring the right hand to the inside of the leg or to the outside of the leg. And then bring the left hand through the front of the body and reach it by the ear. It's a little tougher. This doesn't feel comfortable, then you can come back to an earlier variation. There's always a choice in yoga. Feel like the little finger. So Anna's going to stretch the little finger away from the back ankle, stretching the skin. And Avanti's rolling her shoulders away from the back. Good. Soften the jaw. And slowly come up. Bring the top hand down, downward facing dog. Lift up left leg. Left leg gently place it forward into lunge. Ground the back heel to the floor. Good. Warrior two. So what tends to happen is the left bottom lifts up. So can you drop the left bottom down a little to the inside of the back right thigh? Spread the armpits to the fingers. Reach for the planes in front of you. And backhand on the back thigh, reverse the warrior. From here, Parsvakonasana, side angle. Any option you like. Maintain the breath. Soften the jaw. So we often forget about our face in yoga. We do all these amazing poses and then like, oh, really crunched up in our faces. So you have to find a lightness to the eyes, a lightness to the breath. Good. Keep continuing to drop the left bottom down. Press into your feet, coming up, warrior two. And windmill the hands around, downward facing dog. Good. 5 breaths here. Inhale. And exhale. So if you find your back is rounding a little, bend those knees. Bend those knees and spread the sitting bones far away from the armpits. Good, rolling forward into a plank position. Now often what people do in plank is their kind of hips just dip down like this, which I think looks kind of sexy, but is not good for your spine. So this is happening and you're really struggling here, then bring the knees on the floor and lift the hips up. So you're still working the core here. Otherwise, keep the knees off the floor, lengthen the chest forward, roll the shoulder blades back, let the chin drop down towards the heart. And it's amazing what goes through your mind in plank. So really stay centered, spread through the calves, reach the heart forward, soften the jaw. And knees, belly, chest, chin if you're working a little bit more intensely. Chaturanga. Elbows level with the heart. And then reaching up into up dog. In up dog, you want to ensure the hips and the belly is not on the floor. It's too much compression on the spine. Good, lift up. Down dog, and then take a child's pose. Take a little pause here. Good, resting the body on the floor. And really letting the breath return to the body. If your head is touching the floor, then you can come into the traditional child's pose. Look at the body as a stencil. As you breathe into the stencil, and as you exhale, let the sitting bones come down. Keep dropping the bottom down and let the heart rest forward. So, child's pose is such an important pose. So often what happens when we do yoga, you find yourself very distracted by other people, what's happening in their bodies. And that's why often what I love about doing yoga here is you don't have the mirror. The only reflection is you have the Thames, which is pretty far down. And you can really send yourself into your own practice. And that's very important. So how your body feels is far more important than how the pose looks. Okay, so try not to be distracted by anything. We have a question, yes?
Yeah, we've got a question from Judith. Are you meant to start this at a young age or can you start at any age?
Judith, you know the oldest yoga teacher in the world? She's over 100 years old. She's still teaching yoga, but we're going to fly her over next year to Yoga Sphere to teach here in the top of the Shard of the View. And Yogi's been doing yoga for years. It's never too late to begin. Some of the benefits for doing yoga of all ages is the movement of the joints. It creates synovial fluid, which is like car oil for a car. It's really, really important. So there's no age. You know, kids do yoga, older people do yoga. But one of the things I love about yoga is people that do yoga. I mean, our oldest client, June, she's, I think, 76 years old. And, you know, you meet her and she looks like 45 or something. It's unbelievable. It's so good, all the meditation. So it's never too late to start and it's never too early to begin. I hope that answers your question, Judith. Okay, so then we're coming out of child's pose. We're lifting up out of child's. Spread into the fingers. And downward facing dog. Good, reaching up the right leg. As you reach up with the right leg, so you really spread out through the toes here and start to drop down through the right hip a little and level out through the armpits. Now bring that right leg forward into lunge position. Ground the back leg coming into warrior two. Now from warrior two here, the important thing is to have the knee above the heel. Sometimes people track forward. If you want to go deeper, you really want to move that back leg back, but the front knee is always above the heels. Stretch the arms away from the center. Now from here, interlace the hands behind the back and lift open with the heart. You've got to be proud. Your heart is the most precious thing. It's always beating for you. So you always got to be there and feel proud in this pose. Now take your hands, interlaced hands, around the front hip. From here, start to stretch the front leg straight and release the right hand and just place it on the thigh or the calf. And use your left hand to walk around that front thigh to create a kind of spiraling for the chest. Good. And then reach the hands up. If balance feels a bit tricky, then you can always look at the floor. Otherwise, reach the hands up to the sky. Good. And spiral your heart open. So from here, we're going to start to thigh deep into the bones and then open up through the left armpit. Good. And really send the kind of flesh of the ankle towards the heel, so you're lifting up through the arches of the feet. You can stay here with this far up, so we might want to fly. So you bring the hands down to the floor and lean forward and then reach up with the left leg. Again, in this pose, half moon, Ardha Chandrasana, you'll find the ankles will move side to side. That's perfectly fine, but keep the big toe grounded. Now you might stay comfortable here or lift the left hand up and then send your gaze in front of you. So we wish you were here, guys. It's just like quite an awesome view, isn't it? And if you fall out, don't worry, come back in. Believe in second chances. Beautiful. And bring that top hand down. Downward facing dog. Roll forward into a vinyasa of your choice. So into plank, knees, belly, chest, chin. Good. So Paula here is doing up dog. She's rolling her shoulders behind. And then tuck the toes under, downward facing. Beautiful, everyone. Keep sending the thighs back in space and lengthen out through the lower back. Reach out left leg, up, up, up. Now push out through that heel and feel like you're squeezing a kind of grape in between the thighs. So you're kind of looking for a long length from the, so Mandy's here is spreading from her armpits to her bottom to her heel. And then gently place that left leg forward into a lunge position. Good. Ground the back heel, warrior two. Interlace the hands and see if you can clasp the heels of the hands together and roll the shoulder blades back. So you're kind of using the shoulders as a gate that's opening the heart. Look out into the horizon. Beautiful. Reach up. Now from here, bring the hands around the front hip. Suck the left thigh in and use your right hand as a little lever to walk the fingers around the thigh so your chest opens. And then when you wish, release that through the right hand. So we have two curves in the spine. When you're a baby, you only have one curve, and as you grow, both curves develop, which means these curves are very vital for how we stand. And often when we think about the benefits of yoga, there's stress management, it makes you feel awesome, you're happy for no reason, all these great blissful reasons. But one of the cool things is also helps your spine, and a healthy spine is so important for a body. So if you look here, there's a curve in the lower back, and there's also a curve in the back of the neck here, the cervical spine. So we want to send our skull back in space, so you maintain those curves. You might stay here in triangle pose if you fancy flying, then reaching forward, get that support with the left hand on the floor, and work in stages here. It doesn't really matter how high you go. So think of length. Once the front leg is straight, the standing leg, then you stack the right hip above the left, and you open up with the right hand here. Good. Spreading the breath, opening the heart. Beautiful. Use your core to stabilize. One more breath, and then bring that hand down to the floor, downward facing dog. Do take a Charles if you feel you want to pause. Good. And from here, we have our lovely yogis, Yogosphere clients that do yoga with us all the time. And, it's sometimes you go to class and you're always doing what everyone else is doing. And sometimes it's nice to do your own pose. So I'm going to give the freedom to my yogis here doing yoga with me to do whatever pose they like. And I might walk around and give some tips on those poses. So think of whatever. It might be handstand, it might be child's pose. Whatever pose you like, guys, come into it. So I'll come to Anna first. She's coming into what's called chair pose. So this pose is great for the core. It's dropping the tail down. It's great for core strength. It's also great for thigh strength as well. Avanti's doing wheel pose, which is a great heart opener. It's a confidence building pose. It's also playful. We used to do this pose a lot as children, right? And then we stopped doing it. Also, we've got three-pointed headstand. This is amazing here because, and by the way, if you're in a pose and you feel like coming out, you can. You don't have to stay there for the whole demo. So here, what's wonderful is all the blood is dropping down from the legs down towards the heart. This is very energizing as well. And Paola here, she's doing a kind of binded position, which is a version we did earlier, which is Parsvakonasana. And this is really good for opening the shoulders. Mandy, who's the co-founder of YogaSphere, also my life partner, she's doing pigeon. I know we don't really like pigeons, but as kids we used to really get excited about pigeons. And you know, this pose here is really great for opening the hips. It can be a little tough on the jaw, so sometimes when we tighten the hips, we can be tight on the jaw as well. If the head is touching the floor, you see Mandy's head is touching the floor, then she can reach the hands by the sides of the body so shoulders start to release. So bring the hands to the side, Mandy. That's it. Good. Keep reaching forward. Good. Breathe into the body. Inhale. Spread the breath. There's also an option to come onto your toes as well in the wheel position. And then starting to make your way down into your child's pose. So in Charles, it's quite nice to actually have the thighs a little wider. So your ribcage can nestle into the inner parts of the legs. And as you inhale, you let the breath spread out towards the thighs. And as you exhale, let the belly button draw into the navel and let the bottom start to slide down towards the heels. Let the tongue settle and relax. The jaw settle. If your head is on the floor, ensure it's the center of the brow that's on the earth. Good. From here, we'll come into crow pose. So if you have a crow practice, come into it. If you find crow a little, it's quite, it makes sometimes people a bit nervous, then you can always come into Malasana, which is this position. It's a kind of squat position. Even this is tough sometimes, so horse is quite nice, so you bring the elbows and the thighs. But if you're going to do crow, what you're going to do is press the elbows into the thighs. So maybe watch me at home first before trying. So you squeeze the elbows in. Now, often what happens in crows, people try to kind of hop up or they kind of do this with the feet, So you've got to really work mindfully. So spread into the fingers, inhale, and then as you exhale, start to bring the heels in, and then the legs lift up in towards each other. Good. Spread into the belly. So from crow, you can come into three-pointed headstand. You drop the head to the floor. Good, and this is crane. And then from crane, you've got that stability of the hips, and that's the second version. But in crow, you're looking to kind of be really playful, not sort of hopping up. Good, bring the feet down, coming into squat position, reach the hands up. So kind of on the way here, on the London Underground, I lost my notes. We're going to stay the rest of the class here. Is that all right with everyone? Not really. Good, this is really good for your hips. And bring the fingers to the floor. Draw the knees in, release the toes, and bring the palms onto the thighs, elbows into the hips. Yoga is so lovely to practice in the morning. It's a great way to start your day. I know people are busy. If you don't get time to do it in the morning, then in the evening is fine. But there's a quality to doing it in the morning, especially with sunrise. It kind of really creates an opening for your day. It prepares you. Good. Keep drawing the inhalation through the nose. And exhale through the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. If you find this is a little tough on your toes, remember you can always tuck the toes under like this and you sit down the bottom on the heels. That's always available. So if that's the case at home, then maybe you want to do that if the ankles don't feel comfortable. Otherwise, release through the toes. We're going to do a really nice breath that's it's a kind of mindfulness technique which can help clear mental chatter, but also it's kind of good for clearing sinuses as well, which is often what's needed around autumn time. So what you do is you inhale, and as you exhale, you make a kind of buzzing sound like a bee. So it kind of goes like this. I'll demonstrate first. So inhale, and so let's do it together. So join us at home. Don't worry, no one's watching. Inhale, and if they do, you shouldn't care anyway. Doesn't matter what anyone thinks. So inhale, and just keep overlapping your buzzing sounds. Inhale, feel the vibration in your jaw, the brain. Taking it an octave higher. Even higher. Like bees in the sky. Even higher. Even higher. Wow, you guys are pretty good. Got some bee harmonies happening. All right, so start to reach the hands on the floor. Bring your feet forward and just roll the body side to side. And then start to dig your heels in. Even if you don't have time to do yoga, this is really nice, just doing these roll-ups, coming up, reaching the hands up, really slowly, like languid, and as you exhale, bending from the hips, spreading into the toes, reaching forward, feel that contact between the belly and the thighs, hands dropping down. Let the shoulders release the tension, let the cares of the world just leave your body. And spread into your toes. And dig your heels in and roll up again. This is one of the things I love about yoga, running Yoga Spheres, that every day when you do yoga, wherever you're doing it, so many millions of people doing yoga around the world, it creates a feeling of stability, a kind of openness as well in the body, in the mind. You can let go of your problems, you can just focus on your mat, and you end up feeling better than when you started. So one more time, digging the heels in. And reaching the hands up. Bring the hands into the center, into Compassion Mudra, so one hand over the other. Feel your heartbeat in the center of the palms. And step out towards the left-hand side, facing St. Paul's, which looks like a dot from up here. And set an intention for your day. Anything positive that begins with I am or I will. And bow your head to your own heart, the most precious part of you. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for doing yoga today and for joining us with the sun readers at home for doing yoga. So I think we have some time for questions, if there's any questions at all. Or yeah? Yeah, okay, cool. So thank you so much for joining us. Again, we have classes here every Saturday morning, all throughout the year. Come and join us, and if you want to bring your friends up here as well, we can do private classes as well. And we absolutely love being out here in this view. And it's a bit cloudy today, but every day is kind of different. The city of London is just such a beautiful place to come and do yoga. So thank you so much. Oh yeah, we also Mandy's whispering trees. Okay, so part of the reason we call Yoga Sphere is we plant 10 trees every time we do yoga. So, we in the classes here in the weekend, we usually have a number of people, so we plant about 600 trees for the classes here, every class, and we plant a lot of trees around the world, so that's why we call Yogasphere. So by you guys doing yoga with us, you're helping us spread this positive message, and come and join us if you're in London or anywhere around the world. I think that's pretty much it, right? I think if there's any other questions, I think our team have answered everything. So yeah, come and see us, Yogasphere here at The View from the Shard. Thank you so much, and have an awesome, awesome weekend. Thanks. Cheers.